Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Each day we are gifted with a fresh start, a new page, a blank canvas waiting to be filled with intention, action, and purpose. But how we begin that day, what we feed our minds and tell ourselves in those first waking moments, can set the tone for everything that follows. Every morning presents us with a powerful opportunity, the chance to begin again. No matter what happened yesterday, the missed deadlines, the difficult conversations, the self-doubt, each sunrise offers a fresh start, a moment to reset our mindset and reframe our approach to life. Starting each day with intention is not just about being productive or organized, it's about choosing to live consciously, purposefully, and with clarity. It's about reminding ourselves that we are not passengers in our lives, we are the drivers. When you wake up and immediately reach for your phone, scroll through notifications, or start thinking about the stress ahead, your day is already being shaped by external influences. You are reacting instead of creating. But when you begin your day by pausing, breathing deeply, and affirming your goals, values, and purpose, you reclaim your power. You are no longer at the mercy of the world. You are setting your own tone. Intentional mornings begin in the mind. It can be as simple as taking 1 minute before getting out of bed to say to yourself, "Today I will lead with patience," or "I choose joy today." These words are more than just affirmations. They are anchors. They ground you in your truth. They help you remember what matters before the noise of the world tries to distract or discourage you. Intentional living is not about controlling every moment. When you start your day with intention, you're more likely to respond to situations thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. You make choices that align with your values. You protect your energy and invest it wisely. You find moments of calm in chaos because you're connected to something deeper than your to-do list. This intentional start doesn't have to be complex or time-consuming. It can be a short walk in silence, a cup of tea enjoyed without distraction, or journaling 3 things you're grateful for. It might be reading something that inspires you, or simply sitting in stillness. The act itself matters less than the awareness behind it. What you're doing is sending a message to yourself. My mindset matters. My focus matters. My life is worth showing up for on purpose. Over time, these small, intentional choices compound. You begin to notice that your days feel different, less rushed, more centered. Challenges still come, of course, but you meet them with a steadier heart. Wins feel more meaningful because they're aligned with your inner compass, not just the expectations of others. You start to live from the inside out rather than the outside in. Intentional mornings are an act of self-respect. They are a way of honoring your time, your dreams, and your mental well-being. They remind you that life is not something to simply get through. It's something to engage with fully, mindfully, and courageously. So tomorrow morning, before the demands of the day take over, pause, breathe, check in with yourself, set your intention. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. And in that quiet moment, you'll find your power. Because when you start your day with intention, you don't just shape the morning, you shape your life. Emotions are a natural and essential part of being human. They color our experiences, shape our relationships, and influence our decisions. Yet, while emotions are valid, they don't have to control us. One of the most empowering things we can do each day is take control of our emotions, not by suppressing them, but by learning to understand, manage, and respond to them with awareness and intention. Every morning, as we step into a new day, we are met with countless potential triggers. A traffic jam, an unexpected email, a tense conversation. All these things can stir up frustration, anxiety, or anger. But how we respond to these emotions is what defines the quality of our day. Taking control of your emotions means recognizing that while you may not be able to stop an emotion from rising, you always have the ability to choose your response. It starts with awareness. Often, we experience emotions without acknowledging them. We might snap at someone without realizing that we're actually feeling overwhelmed or stressed. Or we might isolate ourselves because we're carrying unspoken resentment or sadness. But when we pause and ask ourselves, what am I feeling right now? We create space between the emotion and the reaction. That space is where emotional control begins. Taking control doesn't mean ignoring or minimizing your feelings. In fact, denying emotions can make them stronger and more disruptive. Instead, it means facing them honestly. If you're angry, admit it to yourself. If you're scared, name the fear. When you label an emotion, your brain begins to process it more rationally. You move from being inside the storm to observing it from a steadier place. Once you've identified what you're feeling, the next step is to understand why. Is the emotion coming from the present moment, or is it tied to a past experience? Are you reacting to a real threat or a perceived one? This level of self-inquiry helps you respond with intention rather than instinct. It keeps you from saying things you'll regret or making decisions you'll later question. Another key to emotional control is grounding yourself in practices that help regulate your nervous system. Deep breathing, physical movement, mindfulness, or even a quick moment of silence can bring you back to center when emotions start to take over. These small actions send a signal to your body and brain that you are safe and in control, even when the world around you feels chaotic. Equally important is remembering that emotions are temporary. No feeling lasts forever. When we act as if a bad mood will define our entire day, we give it more power than it deserves. But when we remind ourselves this feeling will pass, we regain our ability to move forward with clarity and purpose. Taking control of your emotions also impacts how you relate to others. When you respond instead of react, you build trust. You create space for understanding instead of conflict. You communicate more clearly and listen more deeply. In this way, emotional control becomes a foundation for healthier relationships and stronger leadership, both in personal and professional life. Every morning, you have the opportunity to set this emotional tone. Before stepping into the noise of the day, remind yourself that you are the one who gets to decide how you show up. You don't have to let external circumstances dictate your internal state. You are not at the mercy of your feelings. You are the master of them. So take a deep breath, acknowledge whatever is stirring within you, and choose your response with wisdom and strength. When you take control of your emotions, you don't just survive the day, you shape it with confidence, grace, and resilience. There is a quiet power that comes from knowing your own worth. It's not loud or boastful. It doesn't need applause or external validation. It simply exists, steady and grounded. Practicing self-worth and self-belief each morning is one of the most important things you can do for your mindset, your confidence, and your overall well-being. It's a daily choice to affirm that who you are right now is valuable and that what you bring to the world matters. Too often, people begin their day already feeling behind. They look in the mirror and see what's missing, what's wrong, or what doesn't measure up. They scroll through social media and compare their lives to carefully curated highlight reels. And before the day even starts, their sense of self has taken a hit. And that's why it's so important to start each day by reconnecting with your inherent worth before the world tries to tell you otherwise. Practicing self-worth means recognizing that your value is not tied to your productivity, appearance, or the approval of others. You are not valuable because you succeed, achieve, or please people. You are valuable because you exist, because you have a heart that cares, a mind that thinks, and a soul. Your presence in the world is meaningful, even on the days when you don't feel particularly strong or accomplished. Self-belief goes hand in hand with self-worth. It's the quiet confidence that says, I may not know exactly how things will work out, but I trust that I can figure it out. It's the courage to take the next step, to speak up, to try again, because you believe that you are capable. Self-belief isn't about arrogance or pretending to be perfect. It's about trusting in your ability to learn, grow, and rise. This belief must be cultivated, especially in a world that often feeds doubt. That cultivation begins with what you tell yourself. Each morning, make it a habit to say something kind and affirming to yourself. I am enough. I trust myself. I am capable of great things. These words don't defend their normal experience and make it a premise for empathy. May feel small at first, but repeated daily, they begin to shape your internal narrative. And over time, that narrative becomes the lens through which you see the world and your place in it. Practicing self-worth also means setting boundaries. It means not allowing people or circumstances to treat you in ways that diminish your value. It means walking away from what no longer serves you and saying no without guilt. When you believe in your worth, you stop begging for what you deserve and start expecting it with quiet assurance. One of the greatest shifts that occurs when you practice self-worth and self-belief is that you stop waiting. You stop waiting to feel ready. You stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for someone else to affirm what you already know deep down, that you are capable and you matter. Instead, you begin to move with purpose. You begin to speak with clarity. You begin to lead with authenticity. Life has its highs and lows, its doubts and detours, but when your foundation is built on self-worth, you remain grounded. You stop being shaken by every setback because your value doesn't come from what happens around you. It comes from within. So each morning, take a moment to acknowledge your worth. Remind yourself that you don't have to prove anything to be enough. Believe in the strength that already lives inside you, and then go into the world not seeking approval, but standing in your truth. Because when you practice self-worth and self-belief, you don't just survive the day, you rise to meet it with power and purpose. Life is filled with uncertainty. Every day brings things we can't control. Unexpected news, other people's behavior, delays, disappointments, and outcomes that don't go our way. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by everything that's out of our hands. But the key to maintaining peace, productivity, and emotional balance is learning to focus on what you can change. This mindset shift is subtle, but it can transform your entire approach to life. When we pour our energy into things we can't control, we drain ourselves. We spend time worrying about the future, replaying past mistakes, or trying to manage other people's opinions. But none of that truly changes the outcome. Instead, it leaves us feeling anxious, frustrated, and powerless. Focusing on what you can change brings you back to center. It puts the power back in your hands, not over everything, but over something. And that's enough to start making a difference. What can you change? You can change your attitude. You can always control a situation, but you can control how you respond to it. You can choose patience over anger, courage over fear, or optimism over despair. That choice, made moment by moment, shapes your experience more than the situation itself. You can also change your habits. Small daily actions, when done consistently, lead to big results. If you're not where you want to be, whether in health, career, or mindset, you can start adjusting your routines. You can control what time you wake up, how you spend your free time, what you feed your mind, and how you talk to yourself. It might not feel like much at first, but it's through small, intentional changes that real transformation begins. Another thing you can change is your focus. Where you place your attention shapes your reality. If you focus only on problems, you'll feel stuck. But if you shift your attention to solutions, even if they're small, you'll begin to move forward. If you focus only on what's missing, you'll feel lack. But if you choose to notice what you have, gratitude will grow. Redirecting your focus doesn't mean ignoring difficulties. It means refusing to give them all your power. You can also change the boundaries you set. You may not be able to change toxic people or environments, but you can change how much access they have to your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. You can decide who gets to be close to you and how you engage with them. Taking ownership of your boundaries is one of the most important ways to reclaim control over your life. Focusing on what you can change also brings a sense of calm. When you stop trying to manage everything, you start to breathe again. You start to trust that it's okay not to have control over it all. That's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's the wisdom of knowing that your energy is sacred and you have the power to direct it where it matters most. Each morning, remind yourself, what can I do today, right now, that is within my control? Maybe it's how you speak to your loved ones. Maybe it's the effort you put into your work. Maybe it's the way you treat yourself. Those are all things you can influence. And by focusing there, you build confidence, momentum, and resilience. The truth is, you don't have to fix everything to feel empowered. You just have to take ownership of the things you can influence. One decision, one action, one attitude at a time. That's how change begins, within you. And from that place of focus, peace, and strength, you become a powerful force for good, not just in your own life, but in the lives of others. Perfection is a tempting illusion. It whispers that if you just try a little harder, wait a little longer, or fix a few more things, then everything will finally be right. Then you'll be ready. Then you'll be good enough. But the truth is, perfection is not only unrealistic, it's paralyzing. It stops people from starting, keeps them stuck in fear, and robs them of the joy that comes from growing and learning. That's why it's so important to embrace progress over perfection. Every morning, you have the chance to begin again, not perfectly, but intentionally. When you focus on progress, you give yourself permission to be human. You give yourself space to make mistakes, to stumble, and to learn along the way. You no longer wait for everything to be flawless before you act. Instead, you take the next small step forward, knowing that movement, any movement, is better than being frozen in place. Progress is honest. It acknowledges that change is often slow, that growth can be messy, and that mastery takes time. Whether you're learning a new skill, working on a relationship, healing from the past, or building a dream, there will be setbacks. There will be days when you don't feel motivated or when things don't go according to plan. Embracing progress means understanding that these days are part of the journey, not signs that you've failed, but signs that you're still in motion. When you let go of the need to be perfect, you also let go of a lot of unnecessary pressure. You stop judging yourself so harshly. You stop comparing your path to someone else's highlight reel. You begin to see your own journey more clearly, and you begin to take pride in each step forward, no matter how small it seems. Progress builds confidence. Every time you show up, even when it's difficult, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Every time you take action, instead of waiting for the perfect moment, you strengthen your resilience. And as that inner strength grows, you realize that perfection was never the goal to begin with. Growth was. One of the most powerful things you can do is shift your mindset from, I have to get it right, to, I just need to get better. That one shift can free you from fear and open you up to possibilities. It allows you to try new things without the pressure of immediate success. It turns failure into feedback and mistakes into lessons. This mindset is especially important in a world that often celebrates results over effort. But real change happens in the effort. It happens in the quiet moments of trying again. It happens when you decide to show up even when you feel unsure. That's where the real success lies. Not in perfection, but in persistence. Each day, ask yourself, what's one small way I can move forward today? Maybe it's having a difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's writing one paragraph of a book you've been meaning to start. Maybe it's choosing a healthier habit or practicing a little more self-compassion. Whatever it is, take that step. Then take another tomorrow. Over time, those steps add up. They become a path. They become momentum. Perfection is static. It keeps you stuck in place, waiting. Progress is alive. It moves, shifts, and grows. When you embrace progress over perfection, you start living more fully. You begin to trust the process. And most importantly, you begin to trust yourself, because you don't have to be perfect to be proud of how far you've come. You just have to keep going. Each morning offers a powerful opportunity to choose the kind of energy you want to carry into the day. By beginning with gratitude and kindness, you not only shape your own experience, but also influence the world around you in ways you may never fully see. Gratitude and kindness are not just nice gestures. They are transformative practices that build resilience, deepen connection, and enhance your overall well-being. Gratitude is a mindset that shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already present. It's easy to wake up thinking about what you lack. More money, more time, more success. But when you pause and intentionally reflect on what you do have, your breath, your body, a roof over your head, people who care, you begin to see life differently. Gratitude reminds you that even in the midst of difficulty, there are things to be thankful for. It trains your mind to find light, even when things feel heavy. Cultivating gratitude doesn't mean denying pain or pretending that everything is perfect. It means choosing to acknowledge the good alongside the challenges. It means seeing beauty in the ordinary and giving value to small moments. A warm cup of coffee, a smile from a stranger, the chance to start fresh. These seemingly small recognitions have a powerful cumulative effect. Over time, they rewire your brain to see more of the good, which leads to a greater sense of peace and contentment. Equally important is kindness. In a world that often feels fast, loud, and divided, kindness is a quiet rebellion. It doesn't require grand gestures, just a willingness to care, holding the door open for someone, offering a compliment, sending a message to check in, or simply choosing not to respond with anger when you're frustrated. These actions create ripples. You never know how much a simple act of kindness might mean to someone who's having a hard day. Kindness is not just for others, it's also for yourself. Too many people begin their mornings with self-criticism. They look in the mirror and pick themselves apart, or mentally list all the ways they feel they're falling short. But when you practice kindness toward yourself, when you speak to yourself gently, give yourself grace, and allow room for mistakes, you build inner strength. Self-kindness is the soil where confidence grows. Gratitude and kindness work together. Gratitude grounds you, kindness lifts others. Gratitude roots you in what matters, kindness reflects that value out into the world. When you start your day with both, you align yourself with a sense of purpose that goes beyond checklists and routines. You become more aware, more compassionate, and more present. A practical way to begin cultivating these qualities each morning is through a simple ritual. Take a few minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big, just honest. Then set an intention to show one small act of kindness today. Maybe it's offering encouragement to a coworker or being more patient with your children. Over time, these habits create a lifestyle of gratitude and compassion. You can't control every challenge that comes your way, but you can choose how you face them. With gratitude, you find strength in what you already have. With kindness, you share that strength with others. And when these qualities become part of your daily life, you begin to move through the world with a softer heart and a stronger spirit. So each morning, pause, be thankful, be kind to yourself and to others. These choices may seem small in the moment, but their impact is far-reaching. They build a better you, and a better world, one day at a time. Confidence is not something you are born with, it's something you build, moment by moment, choice by choice. It's a mindset that grows when you consistently decide to believe in yourself, especially when doubt tries to creep in. Each morning, as you prepare to face the day ahead, you have the opportunity to step into it with confidence, not arrogance, not perfection, but a grounded belief in your own worth, abilities, and resilience. Starting the day with confidence doesn't mean you'll have all the answers or that everything will go exactly as planned. It means you trust yourself to handle whatever comes your way. You may feel nervous about a conversation, uncertain about a decision, or anxious about a challenge. But confidence says, I may not know how this will turn out, but I believe I can figure it out. That belief is powerful. It turns hesitation into action, fear into courage, and uncertainty into growth. Confidence is built through preparation. When you take time each morning to set your intentions, review your goals, and organize your priorities, you're already creating a strong foundation. You're reminding yourself that you are capable, focused, and ready. Confidence doesn't come from hoping everything will work out. It comes from knowing you've done what you can to prepare and that you're willing to learn along the way. One of the most effective ways to cultivate confidence is through self-talk. The voice you listen to most is your own, and what you say to yourself matters. If you begin the day with negative thoughts, I'm not good enough, I'll mess this up. If you begin the day with negative thoughts, I'm not good enough, I'll mess this up, I can't do this, those beliefs will shape how you show up. But if you start with affirmations like I've got this, I'm growing every day, or I deserve to take up space, you start to shift the narrative. Over time, those words become your inner truth. Confidence is also built through action. Waiting to feel confident before you do something often leads to procrastination or missed opportunities. Instead, take action first. Speak up in the meeting, apply for the opportunity, start the project. Each time you do something that stretches you, you prove to yourself that you are capable and your confidence grows stronger. Another key to stepping into the day with confidence is embracing your uniqueness. You don't have to be like anyone else to be successful. Your voice, your perspective, your story, they all have value. Confidence is not about comparison. It's about owning who you are and recognizing that your path doesn't need to look like anyone else's to be meaningful. Surrounding yourself with positive influences also plays a role. When you engage with people who believe in you, who challenge you in healthy ways, and who uplift your energy, your confidence gets reinforced. Be mindful of who you listen to, both externally and internally, and choose voices that support your growth. Confidence isn't about being fearless. It's about being willing to try, to risk, to fail, and to get back up. It's about showing up fully even when you feel unsure. When you step into your day with confidence, you approach life with open hands and a steady heart. You begin to see obstacles as opportunities and challenges as invitations to rise. So as each new day begins, take a moment to center yourself. Breathe deeply. Stand tall. Remind yourself of what you've overcome and what you're capable of, and then step forward. Not waiting to be perfect, not needing to impress, just trusting that you are enough, just as you are. That belief is the foundation of true confidence, and it will carry you further than you can imagine.